Hey everyone, back with another NTAPE update here. Okay, so last time you saw NTAPE, it was a set of 6 scripts. Last time you saw the insides of NTAPE, that is, before I added in all the graphics and such. But yeah, it was a set of 6 scripts, and that controlled everything within NTAPE. A bit's been added since then, so I'll open this up now. Now, as you can see, you've already got a few more folders than last time. This testbed folder, I just open up this real quick. This is simply controlling the menu for the testbed. That's all that does, so that's not important. But yeah, so we've got a few more things. What you saw before, these scripts, so that is what was in the last video. But yeah, now there's a lot more stuff. Well, yeah. Alright, so first thing is stat changing. Now this is to go with the AI. Within that folder you've got more folders, so you've got aiming and movement. Both only have one script at the moment, but more will be added to that. So we'll start off with the we'll start off with the AI. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. Alright, so as it says up here, the script creates the AI using the NTAPE player setup script. Okay, so all the variables will be the same as what is set within that. Pretty much all the script is doing is setting up a few more variables for virtual keys, which allow you to control the AI by setting those values. And then potentially the AI can do everything that the player object can do, just using these variables to control which keys are being pressed at any time. Okay, so with that, when you're actually in the AI object, open that up now. So in the create event, you can see I've got the AI set up. Now if you want to change those variables, that's what the movement stats and options scripts are for. So as you can see just here, if I click on this and you look down this bottom area just here, you can see that you can change every variable within the player script within these two scripts. So you've got the movement stats and you have the options. So the options have it just down there as well. So that allows you to change the stats for each separate AI nice and easily. Right, and then the step event here, this is just to make the AI move. So you start off with the NTAPE player step script, which basically controls its falling, jumping, all that. It's the same as the player. NTAPE can see line. What that does is it uses a collision line to return whether it can or cannot see something from the given X and Y position to the instance that you want to see. So in this case, we want to know if we can see the player object or not from this AI's X and Y position. And then the obstacle that we're trying to look past is the wall parent, which will be any wall object. And then if this was enabled, it would then move towards the player's X position, but I've disabled that for now, and you'll see that you'll see the reason why in a second. Okay, so we have that. And yes, that's movement stats. So I'll close those up for now. Okay, that was interesting. Alright, both my phone and tablet just went off at the same time then, if you were wondering what that was. I'm not even sure if it would have come up on the mic, but whatever. Alright, moving on, aiming. So NTAPE AI point to nearest. Now this is actually in the last project, and you might have seen that little red arrow just up here on the room. That uses this script to point to the object. Alright, so yeah, what this script does is it returns the angle between a point and the nearest target object, if that object exists. So yeah, basically, if you were to enter just an instance ID, it would obviously just pick that instance. But yeah, it points to the nearest object. So what it does is it takes your values, processes them through the code, and spits out the angle when it's done. If it fails for any reason, so if the instance doesn't exist, or if the instance is too far away, because it uses range as well, then it'll return -1, so you'll know if it's failed or not. In the movement, move towards X. So essentially, you just give it a target X, and then the gap between the target X and where the object will be. So let's say you wanted it to move to 200, but with a gap of 64. So as long as it's within 64 pixels of X200, then it can stop. Because otherwise, you're going to end up with the object like moving past, and then it'll start kind of shaking on the one spot. So that's what that gap variable there is for. Alright, so those are your aiming and movement scripts. Level selection, this is not finished yet, still being worked on, but yeah, you see level add, level unlock, and level go to. So that's for adding a new level, unlocking a specified level, and going to a level. But yeah, those aren't done yet, so I'll leave those for now. Alright, we have simple checks here. Alright, so the first one you can see is NTAPE can see line, and this was used just before. So you give it an X from position, a Y from position, an instance, and an obstacle. Right, so the instance is the object that you're checking if you can see or not. The obstacle is the thing that you're trying to see if it's in the way or not. And then the X and Y position is where you're looking from. So you could use this object and have it anywhere in the room and look from point 0 on X and Y axes. So yeah, that just pretty much does a collision line check and returns 1 if it's good or -1 if it's bad. Okay, finding instances. These are 2 scripts that I have made, and these are actually on the Yo-Yo Marketplace, so if you want to get access to these 2 scripts now, I'll link that in the description. It's free. You might need early access for that though, so I'm not sure. But yeah, these scripts are available on the Marketplace. But yeah, they're pretty big scripts, so I'll just kind of explain what's going on here. Alright, so basically you've got instance nearest and you've got instance furthest functions built into GameMaker. So these do what they say pretty much. They return the nearest instance ID or the furthest instance ID. What these two scripts do is they take that a little bit further. And allow you to input a range. So if the object is outside of that range, it'll get disregarded and it'll move on to the next one. Not behind. So what this is like in the can see script, is an obstacle. So let's say that you wanted to know the furthest instance that can be seen. You would use this to do a collision line check of an obstacle. So in this case, it'd be our wall parent. Precise and not me is for that collision line, so whether it's precise collision or not, and whether it includes the object running this script. Right, and instance nearest is very, very close to being the exact same code. So literally just one function change in that. But yeah, so I'm going to run the game now, and when I run the game, you're going to see a whole bunch of lines, a big circle, a smaller circle, and the word furthest above one of the objects. That's to do with this instance furthest and instance nearest, and I'll explain to you what's going on there. Alright, so I'll run the game. Oh, my bad, I did it in HTML5. Let's just change that to Windows. Okay, so as you can see, you've got your big circle. I'll just hide the menu for now. Alright, so as you can see, just here, this line just here is actually blue, it's not black, and it points to this object which is circled, and it says furthest above it. Now, any person with good eyes can see that is clearly not the furthest object away from our player object, which is just here. Clearly not the furthest away. I mean, you've got the one all the way down here in the water, so why doesn't it circle that? But with these scripts, remember you can input a range, which is actually this big circle, and the obstacle, which is the ground parent in this case. So the reason that one's the furthest away is because this one is covered up by a ground parent, the rest of them are. In fact, this one out here is completely out of range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move up on this slope, and you should see it swap to the one to the left. And there you go. That object there is now the furthest one away that isn't so that can be seen and is within range. Now if I move the range circle away from that object, you'll see it jump back to the one it was at before because that object is now out of range. And there you go. So that's the scripts working. Now the nearest one works essentially the same way, but yeah, in this case it's using the furthest away one. Alright, so a few new features to show you. First one being this blue area here, which is my kind of it's meant to be water, but yeah, they're blue squares. I'll be honest with you. Alright, so we've got a few new options in here. First one being can stand on ladders. Now I'm going to show you that one now. So if I set that to 1, walk over to this ladder, and I can now stand on top of it. So I've got to have use ladders on too. It's my bad. Alright, and I moved off it. Alright, there we go. I can stand on the ladder, move up and down it. All good. Whereas before, without can stand on ladders, then you get to the top and then you fall back down. So you don't have to have it on if you don't want it, but it's there. Alright, so I'm going to turn that back on. Actually, no, turn that off. Alright, can swim. Let's turn that on, see what happens. I can now swim in the water, as you can see there. So fall down, jump, you know, swimming. NTAPE now is swimming. What else? Double jump. I've literally, I'd say about 10 minutes ago, added this in. So yeah, you can now double jump. Now this was requested by a commenter whose name I cannot remember at the moment, but to that commenter, yeah, there you go, double jump. Alright, I think that's about it. I think that's all I've got. There's a few new, what was I going to say? A few new stats you can change now. You've got liquid gravity power, swim jump power, so that's how hard the jump is when you're swimming up. And there should be, yeah, there's a maximum swing speed here. Now if you turn these all up a lot, then it should give you some pretty funky effects. What was the last one? I can leave the gravity power. Alright, ready? Now you can absolutely launch out of it and you kind of just jump on the top. So it's kind of set onto the right variables before, so you won't necessarily need to change that, but all the options are there so that you can make it work how you want. You can see the arrow using that script up there as well. Okay, pretty sure that's it. So I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think of NTAPE, if you think it's progressing well, whether you like the options or not. If you have feature requests, like you want to see something added in, let me know, just comment it. You know, subscribe, like, Twitter, Facebook, it's all in the description. See you in the next video.